everyone, it's Demi from Reading with Demi and welcome back to another video. So this video we are going to go through all the books that I read in May and what I thought of them. I actually finished 7 books this month, which was a really good reading month for me. So I read 4 physical books, 2 audiobooks and 1 ebook. We're going to start with the physical books as I have those on my lap right now. So the first book I read this month was Silver in the Bone by Alexandra Bracken. This is a young adult fantasy, I believe. It's an Arthurian legend retelling about this... oh my god, what's her name? So it's about a girl called Tamsin who is a hollower, which means she goes and looks for ancient artifacts that have kind of magical powers, and she is looking for something that she believes will help heal her brother from a curse that he has. And the book follows that journey as they travel to Avalon and meet characters from Arthurian legend. So I gave this book 3 stars. It wasn't terrible. I gave this book 3 stars, middle of the road. I liked it. I don't know if it's something I would necessarily read again. I might pick up the sequel when that comes out, but I'm assuming that's quite a ways away. But yeah, 3 stars. So the next physical book I read was Club Dead by Charlaine Harris. I love this set so much of the rainbow. This is a reread for me as I have read at least half of the Charlaine Harris books before. I was meant to be reading these 1 a month, but as you can see, this is book 3 and we are in May, so I am 2 behind, but they are so quick to read that I think I'll easily catch up. This book follows Suki as she travels to Mississippi to look for her boyfriend Bill the vampire. Along the way she meets Alcide the werewolf and he helps her try and infiltrate the king of Mississippi's complex because that's where she believes Bill is being held. I love this series, so this was an easy 5 stars for me. It's kind of like a comfort read at this point, and I am really looking forward to the next one because the next book has a lot of Eric in it, and if you know anything about True Blood, you know Eric, and you are excited by Eric. The next physical book I read was actually sent to me by Headline Publishing, and that is Hate at First Sight by Lizzie O'Hagan. This is a workplace rivals to lovers romance set in London about a data analyst who is 29 nearing 30. I am a data analyst who is 29 nearing 30. The only way this book could have been more about me is if the main character's name was Demi, but it was not, it was Kate, which incidentally is the name of my boss. So this was a very interesting read to get into. I ended up giving this book 3 stars. I did enjoy it. I liked the characters, especially the side characters. So Kate's best friend Blair and her new roommate Wolf were really interesting to read about. It also tackles some really important issues surrounding social media, which I really enjoyed. It is a fade to black romance, which I think probably bumped it down a bit for me, but that's just personal preference. I also feel like they're not a couple that would last. So Kate and Harry, I'm already getting it wrong. Kate and Harry don't seem like they would actually go the distance. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if the author was to write a book about Blair, for example, that I wouldn't be surprised if they had broken up. I did really enjoy the ending. It was a very important message, I think, about social media and how what you see online isn't necessarily the truth. And the last physical book I read this month was The Satsuma Complex by Bob Mortimer. I read this for my work book club. They chose this book. I don't think it's something I would have picked up if I hadn't had to read it for book club. I gave it 3.5 stars. It was interesting. You could hear Bob Mortimer when you were reading it, and I also listened to the audiobook alongside, so I actually got to hear Bob Mortimer reading it to me, which was amazing. I love Bob Mortimer. The characters are a bit wishy-washy though. Like, the main character Gary is a bit of a doormat, apart from with this one mechanic who he's like weirdly mean to, but in a weird, like, it's weird, you just have to read it. It's a very weird book. But I did enjoy it. It's kind of like a cozy mystery, cozy thriller sort of thing. So I will move on to audiobooks. The first book I finished in May was 5 Survive by Holly Jackson. I gave this book 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. Technically I started reading it in March, but it has taken me this long to finish it, mostly because if I stop listening to an audiobook, I kind of forget it exists. So I have to remind myself to actually finish listening to it, which I did finally in May. It's about 6 friends who are going on, I think, like a spring break vacation in an RV when they turn down the wrong road and are trapped there as a sniper has punctured their wheels with his gun. They have to work out why they've been targeted by this sniper and survive the night, basically. It was really interesting. I kind of saw the twist coming, but also I didn't see everything, so that was really good as well. But I definitely enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to reading more of Holly Jackson's work. I then listened to Down Among the Sticks and Bones by Shauna Maguire. This is part of the Wayward Children series. It is book number 2. I loved this. It was such an easy 5 stars for me. I think I listened to it over the span of 2 days where I was travelling into work and back. So I had it on the train or in the car, and I loved it. I mean, I gave the first one 5 stars. I don't see how you're going to top this one. It was just so gorgeously written, and the story was so interesting that I couldn't stop listening to it, basically. And then my final book of the month is A Court of Honey and Ash. So this is a fantasy romance by Shannon Mayer and Kelly St. Clair. It follows our main character, Ali, as she participates in, I guess it's like trials to decide where she'll end up in the Fae realm, although she is only half Fae and she is the bastard daughter of the king, Alexander. As she completes her trials, the magic world, the magical realm that the Fae came from, Underhill, is destroyed, and she takes it upon herself to basically outcast herself, banish herself, go to the Triangle and try to figure out what has happened and to try and fix it. I really enjoyed this book. I think it might have been a setup to book 2, but it did have some good plot points. It is a series that I definitely want to continue reading. And it's on Kindle Unlimited, which is always a plus. So that is every book that I read in May. Please drop a comment down below if you've read any of these books, or if you've read something you think I'll really enjoy based on what I've read this month. And keep an eye out for June's TBR, which is going to include a lot of buddy reads. See you in the next one. Bye!